Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm so excited for day two of 31 days to a better you. Day two of 31 days. Listen, many of us, we have goals, we have dreams, we have various initiatives. We always have this thing that's so famous, that's so viral. We know what it's called. It is the New Year's resolution. Well, this year, we wanted to kind of take things a little bit different, right? Rather than wait for the New Year resolution, why don't we start with the old year, right? Why don't we start with December? And from December 1st all the way to December 31st, we are following a book that I wrote, 31 Days to a Better You. This book has sold hundreds, if not thousands of copies and has impacted so many lives. It's been sold all over Texas, Nigeria, Africa, Germany, all over the world. And we want to be able to show you the principles that would make people want to buy this book. Right? Many times I try to sell this book in the first time, first year, first day of the first year of the first month, well, typically in January, right? Because typically the month of January is when we try to get our life together. But today, this month, this is the second day. I'm literally reading this book live to you, so that way you can be able to get those principles, get those plans, get that vision, get everything it is that you have intended for your life, get it in motion. This is the goal for us reading daily 31 Days to a Better You. Whatever plan you may have planned for 2026, we want you to get it in motion in 2025. So 2026, you're not hustling and bustling and trying to get everything together, but 2026 becomes a rolled out plan. All right. So yesterday uh I read day one. Today we're gonna be reading day two. Again, 31 days to a better you. Day two is simply titled Understanding the Blueprint. Day one, we talked about unearthing the foundation. We talked about the very things that many of us, for us to become the better version of ourselves, things that we have to unlearn, things that we have to say, you know what, maybe perhaps I was taught differently. Maybe perhaps this was not the right way to do things. Many of us have to go through the systems and the plan and the process of unlearning the things that we have been taught. Some of you may have to unlearn the things you have been taught about money. You may have to unlearn the things you've been taught about love, about relationship. You may even have to unlearn the things you've been taught about vision and having goals and dreams and initiatives. And so, first day, we dealt with unearthing the foundation. Now, day two, we're going to be talking about understanding the blueprint. Let's begin. We know that knowledge is collected, memorized information. And we also know that without wisdom, knowledge is just unused, unapplied information. Wisdom. What is wisdom, you may ask? Wisdom is having mastery of a subject of knowledge. The Hebrew word for wisdom means prudence, which is skill or cleverness. Wisdom is knowledge applied. Let's take a pause right there for a moment. Wisdom is knowledge applied. I want to take a pause. How many of us know that wisdom can only come or can only be seen in those who literally apply knowledge? Many of us, we have traded the gathering of knowledge, the inputting of knowledge. We have called that wisdom. So for example, somebody may read a book a week. I've met people who claim they read a book a day. And for that person, they're like, man, I'm so wise because I read a book a day, I read a book a week, I read a book a month, or whatever the case may be. But the attaining of knowledge is simply that, it's just knowing. What wisdom is the application of it. So if you never apply what you read or what you learned, then you have no wisdom. It says wisdom is having mastery of the subject of knowledge. The Hebrew word for wisdom means prudence, which is skill or cleverness. Wisdom is knowledge applied. When we lack wisdom and do not utilize knowledge, we engage in self destructive behavior that not only harm us, but those around us. Wisdom is like knowledge in that both are attainable, but they do not go looking for you. You are the one that goes looking for it. If I sit down in my home and do nothing all day, I will not increase in wisdom and knowledge, neither will I attain understanding. Wisdom must be pursued after, received, and then internalized. How do you pursue wisdom? A daily commitment to the application of knowledge. You see, wisdom comes when you are committed and dedicated to the mastery of knowledge. Too many times we are quick to learn but slow to apply, which in turn causes us to gain knowledge that, when unapplied, stores up unneeded space in our heads. It is possible to have a vast amount of knowledge but still have self destructive behavior because the knowledge was never applied. This begs the question: how intentional are you with mastering the knowledge you currently have? In what ways have you applied the knowledge you have learned and are currently learning? Are you someone that is eager to apply as you are eager to learn? With the books you may have read by now, which ones have you applied and how is it helping you? With the shows, the podcasts, and videos that you have listened to and watched up until now, which one have you applied and how is it helping you? To get to the next step of becoming a better us, we must be intentional with the application of knowledge. That is where wisdom comes in. What is one thing you learned yesterday, and how are you applying it today? Why don't we take a pause and ask ourselves that question? What is one thing you learned yesterday, and how are you applying it today? Perhaps we may even take it a little bit further. What is one thing you learned last month, and how are you applying it today? What is one thing you learned last year, and how are you applying it today? The question has to be, how am I applying what I've learned? It's not just enough to learn it. How are you applying it? Even movies ought to teach us. Shows ought to teach us. How are you applying what you have learned? All right. Now, here it is. To constantly attain wisdom, you must be focused on mastering knowledge. Then, understanding becomes a further result of seeking wisdom. A person of understanding has the capacity to understand what they hear and see, and to internalize knowledge so it directs their actions. Understanding prevents self destructive behavior. Ain't that powerful? Understanding prevents self destructive behavior. For many of us, the biggest issue is not that you're not learned. You're listening to this because you desire to gain knowledge. The question, though, is gaining knowledge does nothing for you if you have no intention of applying that knowledge. All right? The wisest man in the world tells us that we must listen closely to wisdom, direct our hearts to understanding, advising us to seek it like hidden treasure. Then we will be able to avoid self destructive behaviors. Are you wise enough to admit the areas where you lack knowledge in your life? How are you seeking knowledge today in those areas you are aware that you need help? With the knowledge you are receiving, how intentional are you in mastering it? With the wisdom you are attaining, are you using it to get understanding? Use today to do some self reflecting over your life and answer these questions in your workbook. Starting tomorrow, we will begin building your foundation with new knowledge that will give wisdom when applied. And when the wisdom becomes internalized, understanding will be the result. So let me give you a few hint on tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about building the foundation. This has been reading a daily intake of my best-selling book, 31 Days to a Better You. This book is based out of the book of Proverbs. If you have never read the book of Proverbs, I 100% recommend you to do it. I did an intense study on the book of Proverbs, and from the book of Proverbs, I came up with 31 days of building a better you. And I used the principles in each chapter of the book of Proverbs. There's 31 books, 31 chapters, if you may. And I use that as a reference point for each day. So each day, you get advanced in your life. Each day, you become a better version of you. And so this book has sold countless copies all over the world. And so our decision is, rather than wait to the new year to start a New Year's resolution, why don't we start today? Which begs the question, what are your plans and your goals for 2026? Have you written them down? Have you planned them? Do you have a vision for it? How do you want your 2026, December 2nd, 2026, how do you want it to look like? If you had a vision for the next 12 months of your life, what do you expect it to be? Let me tell you a few keys about vision really quickly before we get off. Vision can only be seen through your decisions. A person of vision is only as believable as the actions that are seen through them. So, regardless of what you may say about where you are headed, we can only see it by what we see you doing. Your actions tell your vision. All right. This has been 10 minutes. Well, technically now it's 11 minutes. 11 minutes of reading every morning at 8 a.m. a chapter, a goal, a plan, a vision, direction for your life. Every day at 8 a.m. I want you to join me here. We're going to be live every morning on 31 days. I want your 2026 to be the best year yet. I hope this has helped you. I can't wait to see you tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Have a wonderful, wonderful morning. Bye-bye.